What up guys, it's Valk here, and Overwatch published a video talking about changes coming to Season 2. So let's discuss what will be different between Season 1 and Season 2. So let's start off talking about skill rating system. In Season 1, we're looking at a skill rating which goes between 0 and 100, 100 being the highest and most skilled players. For Season 2, this is going to change, and I feel it's a good change. Season 2 will be between 0 and 5,000. This means you'll be jumping up whole numbers of ranks. It could be 5, 10, 15 whole numbers of ranks. At the moment, we're not sure until Season 2 comes out, or unless we play it on the PTR, which probably will be between the downtime of Season 1 and Season 2. But this will rectify someone who feels bad for dropping from level 70, for example, going down to 69. Because you'll be jumping up whole levels, somebody who does drop 1 or 2 whole numbers isn't going to feel as bad as when they were doing it in Season 1, because, you know, you grind so hard to get up to that next whole number level, and then for it to drop down after like 2 or 3 games, it doesn't feel so great. So I think the guys at Blizzard have addressed this properly, and it should feel really good when you're going up whole numbers. So as I said, I'm not sure exactly how many we're going to go up at this time, but it's going to be exciting to see, and I for one welcome this change in the competitive area, because I think it's just going to be, make people a bit more positive in my eyes. Jeff also introduced skill rating tiers. Now, this isn't the first time we've seen these. Back in the beta, they had a tiered system with Heroic being the top, but this was dropped for the initial release. Now we're looking at 7 tiers, and most likely going from Bronze to Grandmaster. If you hit any tier below the top 2, even if you drop out of that tier after you've been in it, you will stay at that tier. So if you, for example, hit Gold, which is between 2,000 and 2,499 skill rating, and then you drop into 1,999, which would be Silver, you won't actually become a Silver, you will stay Gold. And my view on this, and it's just a guess, is that because you're playing with 5 other players, and for example, if you're solo queuing and you play at the best of your ability, you're playing as a gold player in the game, but unfortunately the team lose, and you have a few of these games where the team just don't perform, but you do, and they're kind of dragging you down. You're going to stay at a gold level, that people are going to see, hey, this guy was at least once a gold or a diamond or platinum player, and it might not be in his power why he's dropped down. It might be because the team players that he's been playing with have just made him drop out of where he should be. Most likely that won't happen, but in that possibility it does. People can see that that person was at gold rating at least once, and he has the ability to make that, or to at least get back there if he's dropped into silver or bronze again. So I actually welcome this again as a nice kind of change, and I think it's very clever, because, you know, you can't sometimes rely on the people you join with. You go into a solo queue game and you get some salty people, or people who are Maywalling you in, and you're just going to drop down. But if people are going to be fixated on what tier they're in rather than the numbers going up in the skill rating, then I think this is a pretty good change. And people won't be as toxic, I believe, as well. People are not going to be like, oh, you're going to make me drop skill rating. Oh, you're only a 69, you're only a this, you're only a that. You can say, hey, I'm a gold player. Whatever the numbers between 2,000 and 2,500 or 2,499, that's a gold player. That's not I'm a level 70, I'm a level 71, I'm a level 72. That whole range of 500 skill rating levels is whatever that player is in. So I actually think this is a very welcome change. I think it's been very well thought out by Blizzard, again. And also top 2 tiers, so if you're in Master or Grandmaster, you can fall out of this tier, but anything below those 2, you won't kind of drop down. So only the top 2 highest tiers you can kind of fall out of, so you got to really grind to stay into the very top, play at the very top level. There is also a skill rating decay for the players at the very top. If they don't play competitive for a week, they're going to drop 50 skill rating every 24 hours. Now this will continue until they hit, for example, Platinum, I think it would be, but it means they're trying to push people to become active and carry on being active even at a top level. They can't just reach the top and stop playing, for example. Let's get a huge cheer. Coin flip is going away, probably one of the most welcome changes to anybody who has played competitive. In fact, the whole of sudden death is being completely wiped out. It is no longer in Season 2, And let's talk about the changes. So control maps, no changes here. These are played on best of 5. There was no sudden death anyway, so that's completely fine. Assault maps, so we're talking Temple of Anubis. These are going to be played like Season 1 on a time bank system. Changes to the assault is when you capture point A, you're going to be rewarded with an extra 30 seconds. This is because if you're fighting as hard as you can, say you've gone through the first round and you're fighting as hard as you can on the second or third round to capture point A, and you finally do, but the time's run out, it doesn't matter even if you capture it. The time's run out, you're going to lose. You're going to get a defeat if you can't capture it and the other team have. So that kind of sucks. So what they're doing, they're going to give you an extra 30 seconds added onto your clock, which will give you at least a bit of time to run to point B. Maybe you can capture it, maybe you can't. So that's also really cool. And also, if you were unable to capture with 2 minutes left on the clock, say you captured one of the points and you had 30 seconds left, you were rewarded with a 2-minute grace period on your next round to try and capture the point. Now, this has been reduced from 2 minutes to just 1 minute, which is means you're going to have to work a little bit faster and grind a little bit harder if you want to capture the point. So, for example, say you capture a point with 30 seconds left, Blizzard are going to give you 1 minute to capture the first point, and if you do, you're going to get an extra 30 seconds to capture point B. So this it's not too bad, but I guess because they are giving you that extra 30 seconds, they're compensating, and so they're reducing the time from 2 to 1. So let's talk about Payload and hybrid maps. So there's going to be no sudden death. So it's going to be played out in a very assault style fashion. So both teams will push the payload. If you have time to spare at the end of your push, if you get to the end, you're going to go for a second round of payload or hybrid payload, in which you're going to see which team can push the payload once again to the furthest point. So this means both of the teams, attacking and defense, are both going to be on both sides. It's not going to be a coin flip where one team's attack, one team's defense. Team A get to push the payload as far as they can on the second round, and then Team B get to push the payload as far as they can on the second round. Again, another welcome change for me, because I absolutely hated coin flip. I lost about 6 to 8 in a row when we were pushing the payload way faster than the other team. So we would have won all of those in Season 2. So a very, very welcome change. There will be ties as well. So for example, ties are going to be very rare. So we're talking, for example, on the hybrid payload maps where you've got to capture the point first before the payload moves. Let's talk King's Row. If both teams don't take the first point, they don't capture the area for the payload to move, then that will result in a tie. Both of the teams will get competitive points, but it won't be as much as if they won. But there's going to be no coin flip. There's going to be no sudden death. It's just going to result in a tie. And I think that is the fairest way to do it, because we all know how one-sided some of these coin flip were. You know, it wasn't great, and some of the skilled teams lost out because of that. So I think a tie is going to be fine. As Jeff stated, they're very rare, and of course they've got the data to support this as well. But yeah, that's going to be a tie on, for example, a hybrid, and another tie would be if none of the teams actually push the payload whatsoever. The payload stays at 0 meters exactly on the beginning point, which again would be a troll game because it means nobody's actually pushing the payload. But yeah, these are some of the changes coming to all the game modes in Season 2. Like I say, I welcome them. And I'm looking forward to playing and seeing actually what skill rating I'm going to end up at in Season 2. I'm going to grind through my skill rating at Season 2 and see how high I can get. My aim is to be in the top 500. So let's talk about top 500 as well. The requirement for getting into the top 500 is at least 50 matches. So once you've done your placement matches in Season 2, you can't instantly get into the top 500. You have to play at least 50 games to be in the top 500. I think that is, again, another welcome change, because it's a little bit unfair for somebody to play like 2 or 3 games or 10 games in the placement and then end up in top 500. I think it's going to take a bit more than that. There was a problem of smurfing in Overwatch as well. Let's be real here. So, for example, a level or a skill rating 80 player would be playing in a competitive game with a skill rating 40 player. Now, why would that be? And they're in a group together. That skill rating 40 player might not actually be skill rating 40. It could be another skill rating 80 who's bought a second copy of the game, intentionally placed badly. So then when they go into competitive games, it kind of drops down the overall skill rating of the game. So they both pretty much have the win straight away because they're much higher players in the game that they're going to get matched with. So what they have addressed this with is that you can only play with a skill rating of 500 gap either side. So if you're a level 2000 or skill rating 2000 player, you can only play with people who are skill rating 2500 or 1500. Now there is the realistic approach that, you know, there could be a skill rating 80 player who does want to play with a friend who is skill rating 50 or 60, and so that could be a realistic thing that could happen. But in an effort to try and stop the Smurfers to gaining ranks and bringing the skill rating levels lower because they're grouping together, this is something that is being tried out on the PTR, and they're going to be looking for feedback with this as well, because if it works out well, then great. I think they needed to do something. What else could they really do to stop this? I think the only way they could is if they limit the kind of skill rating gap either side of the player who's inviting. I actually think it's not a bad change. So they'll give it a go. Put your views on this in comments if you've got anything to say with it. I think this is probably the only way they can do something that will stop people smurfing. So that summarizes the Season 2 changes. Looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to get stuck in. I'm probably going to play some on PTR, and I'll upload videos playing on the PTR in kind of the Season 2 environment so you can have a look at how this gets played out. Guys, if you have enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and if you want to add anything as well, drop a comment. What are your feelings on Season 2? You know my feelings, so let me hear yours, and I look forward to having you back on another video. Don't miss out on my live stream starting at 3 PM BST 6 days of the week at twitch.tv/Valkyr.